Hello. So today's video is going to be slightly different, as you can see, because I have a presentation that I would like to share with you, and I don't think I'll be doing a lot of videos in this style in the future, but if you find this to be a lot better than my usual videos, then feel free to let me know, and I would definitely be open to doing more videos like this. With that, let's get right into it. And a quick disclaimer, this is more so about the water quality, like the quality of the water you drink and what's in that water relative to the usual advice of, oh, you should drink more water. Oh, we don't drink enough water. Yes, everyone knows that we need to drink more water. Yeah, like 75% of the US is chronically dehydrated, this and that. Drink more water. Water is good for you. You know water is good for you. But how can we make the water you drink better? And how can we get the harmful stuff out of it? That's what we're going to cover today. So first, let's talk about tap water. You see, inside of our tap water, there's going to be a lot more contaminants than you're aware of. Especially, you might be like, oh, well, the place I live in, the tap water is drinkable, so it should be fine. Like, my tap water is fine. No. There's actually, a lot of the time, going to be a lot of bad stuff in there. So first of all, we have disinfectant byproducts, also known as DBPs. These get in here because of the way the government's system of filtering water is set up. They use special disinfectants to get the germs and stuff out, which makes sense. But at the end of this process, some of those disinfectants get into our water, which is not good for us, as you can probably guess. And it's also acts as an endocrine disruptor, which can harm fertility and your hormones, testosterone, whatever. Next, we have fluoride. Now, fluoride is semi-controversial because, actually, who am I kidding? It's really controversial because fluoride is actually good for your teeth in terms of being an anti-cavity agent, which is why you'll find it in most toothpastes, and why it's actually added into water on purpose. Yeah. So why is it bad? If it's bad, why are they adding it on purpose? Well, that's why. It's because it's good for cavities. But it's also disruptive to thyroid function, and it's going to be bad for your hormones, testosterone, that sort of stuff, and it also has possible effects on, it's bad for your bones, apparently. There's a lot of stuff about fluoride that shows there's pretty damning evidence to say it can be quite harmful to other parts of your body, and there have been studies to show over 0.5 milligrams per liter of it isn't really good for you. And so NYC is going to be an example I'll be using for tap water quality throughout this presentation. But wherever you live, you can just find the stuff inside of it yourself, and I'll teach you how to do that later. But I'm just going to be using NYC as the example for the statistics here because, well, it has all of its water stuff displayed, like you can easily find it, and NYC is known to have good tap water that's drinkable, and it's just generally better than other places with tap water. So that's the example I'm using here. And even NYC has 0.8 milligrams per liter of fluoride, which, as I said, is added intentionally, but a lot of the time this fluoride is not healthy for you. So, again, since it's controversial, I'll let you make the choice on that yourself. But generally, I would recommend avoid fluoride. You can stop your teeth from getting cavities by properly brushing them, flossing, all of that good stuff. You don't need fluoride that's going to cause collateral damage elsewhere in your body. Next up, we have lead. Lead is not as big of a problem in more modern cities, but it basically seeps into your water through broken down pipes, old pipes, and it can be really harmful. Now, the good news is a lot of places give free lead tests, such as NYC. you can just kind of apply on this government website. They give you a free lead test, and you test to see if there's lead in your water, and boom, there you go. Now you know if there's lead in your water. And if there is lead in your water, well, there are a few things you can do. First of all, you can try running your water for a while before actually using it, and apparently that gets some of the lead out. You can use cold water instead of warm water. You can try removing and cleaning the faucet screen, like the little screen on the tip of the faucet, if you can imagine where that is. It's actually recommended that you take that out and clean it monthly, at least, which is something a lot of people don't do, actually. And apparently you're supposed to do that. I never knew this, but even if you don't have lead in your pipes, apparently you're supposed to do that, because unhealthy stuff and gunk and chemicals and metals and whatever gets stuck in that faucet screen, and it's good to remove it every once in a while. And the better solution is to just hire a professional plumber and get the pipes fixed so that lead is not coming into your water. Like, yeah, you can try running cold water for a minute and then changing the faucet screen every time you drink, but nobody wants to do that. And even still, it's not going to remove all of the lead in your water. So I recommend, getting a plumber, getting it properly handled. That's the good solution. Now, I have a little quiz for you. How do you think you can find out what's inside of your tap water? And, this is for the US. I don't know about other countries, but I'm doing this for the US because I live in the US and most of my audience lives in the US. But if you don't live in the US, I bet you could figure this out yourself with a quick Google search. So just look at the options on the screen right now and just guess your best guess. Keep it in your mind. The answer is B. You can just kind of search your city name and followed by water quality report. Apparently, every state is it's mandatory for each state to post some sort of water quality report every year and share that with the people, make that public. So if you search it, you should just be able to find all the results you need. And yeah, so I did a survey with a bunch of people, and generally people got this one right, but a lot of people didn't get it right. And also, I bet even the people who guessed it right hadn't thought of, searching this up beforehand. So if you haven't, I would recommend doing this, finding out what's in your water, and checking the things I described earlier, see if that's in your water. Now we have water bottles. Let's talk about plastic water bottles. Now, plastic water bottles, other than just being terrible for the environment, which we already know, are also terrible for you. So one thing that's included in plastic water bottles is BPA, which is this harmful chemical that's in plastic, and it leaches into your water, and then so when you drink the water, the BPA comes into you, and it's terrible for your hormones. I know it's estrogenic, and it's bad for fertility. So if that's something you're worried about, which it should be, then please avoid plastic water bottles. And, another thing with plastic water bottles is it gets way worse in the heat. If you've ever left a plastic water bottle, I can't say water bottle. I keep saying waddle bottle. Anyway, if you've ever left a plastic bottle out in the sun and then come back to see that it tastes like terrible, please do not drink water bottles. Drink water from water bottles that have been left out in the sun. That is terrible. It tastes bad because it is bad. So please do not drink that, and also please do not leave them out in the sun because a lot more BPA gets in. And forget just BPA being estrogenic. It's also bad for liver, kidney, it hits all the stops for being an unhealthy chemical. and you should avoid it at all costs. And here's just some of the things, and here's what the survey results said, and what people's guesses looked like. So, let's see. What is the solution to the fact that plastic bottles are bad? Don't use plastic bottles. Personally, I have a metal water bottle. It's the one you see in the picture right here. It's from this brand called Bamba, I think you pronounce it. And I'm really happy with it. It's served me really well, and it's not getting harmful chemicals in my water, which is great. So you can also get a glass bottle, but honestly, I can't be trusted with a glass bottle. I feel like I would break it in the matter of days. And you can also drink from water fountains, which, water fountains can be a whole nother topic, but generally, a water fountain isn't a plastic bottle, so that's a solution. Generally, never drink from plastic bottles unless you have to, and never leave plastic bottles out in the sun. Also, do not get a plastic water bottle, even if it says BPA free, because from what I understand, first of all, there are other chemicals inside of it other than BPA. Like, plastic is generally bad overall, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if it's BPA free, it has a bunch of stuff in it. It's also still bad for the environment. And the other chemical, and also most of the time when it's BPA free, it has another chemical in it that's just as bad. It's like when you get a sugar-free drink, like diet Pepsi, for example. I've never drank Pepsi in my life, so I don't really know. But like, those sugar-free things usually have sweeteners in them, and those sweeteners are even worse than the sugar you're avoiding. And with plastic bottles, it's kind of like that. So just don't get a plastic bottle. It's that easy. And now we move on to the final part of this presentation, how you can solve the problem of having bad contaminants in your water. Filtering it. Now, there are many, many ways to filter water. You can, first of all, get water bottles with built-in filters. I know this is a thing. I don't know how effective they are. Apparently, it's kind of hard to drink from them because it has a sort of straw in it, and the straw is a filter, and you kind of have to, suck on the straw to really pull the water through that filter, and it takes a lot of effort, apparently. But if you're okay with that, and you want to have a water filter on the go, this is a pretty great option. There are also pitcher filters, like the one in the image you see here. That's actually what I have in my house, and it works really good. That brand, Clearly Filtered, is great. Do not use Brita, I think it's pronounced Brita filters. Brita does not filter any, none, generally not a single one of those contaminants we have discussed so far in this presentation. None of them does Brita filter. It filters out chlorine, which I'm pretty sure isn't even harmful in the amounts that are in water. It's just a taste difference. So it's just a bad filter overall. This filter that I use, Clearly Filtered, it removes all of the DBPs, fluoride, lead, whatever, all of that harmful stuff, and it's actually really good, and you can taste it in the water. I would recommend it. You can also get countertop filters, which are the step up from that, or you can get whole house filters, which is you plug the filter into the pipes in your house, and all of the water that goes into your house is automatically filtered. And each of these things mentioned goes up in price from the other, so it depends on your budget, depends on what you want. And if your budget is $0, well, I have a semi-solution for you too. Take 1 to 5 gallons of water, leave the top open, rest it for about a day, and then pour out the top 2/3 of the water. The point of this is that the harmful contaminants fall to the bottom, and you pour out the top. And this sounds so silly. When I first heard this, I was like, how? But apparently it works, and it's been recommended by Andrew Huberman, and I consider Andrew Huberman to be as trustworthy of a source as can be. So, hey, I'd give it a try. Now, one thing I want to touch on is boiling water. Boiling water is not a adequate solution to filtering water. Not just that, it actually makes the problem worse. Because the point of boiling water is usually to kill the germs, right? Because the bacteria, whatever, they do not survive in boiling water, they die. But the thing is, there is bacteria and germs generally is not a problem in tap water. Generally, that's what like the whole disinfection problem is for, and the germs and harmful bacteria and whatever and different stuff that might be inside of your water is already covered through the disinfection process. But what does get in your water is stuff like the disinfectant byproducts, which is a problem, and boiling it often makes it worse. Remember how we talked about with BPA? Leaving the water bottle out in the sun makes the contaminants worse. Well, this is exactly what you're doing by boiling the water. You're making the contaminants worse. So please do not boil water. And as you can see, the results are varied here. A lot of people do think boiling water is a good way to filter the water. It's not. Please don't do it. Please do not do it. And that's all. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this new type of video, well, tell me. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you found this informational, then feel free to subscribe. Like, I do videos like this all the time, and if you want to get information like this in your feed, get this recommended to you, then subscribing is the best way to do that. Thanks a lot, and see you later.